Hello and welcome everybody to today's podcast. The topic of today's discussion is 5 sales points that the sales reps are facing in 2025 and how you can solve them. Today we have with us Samar Singla and Kritika Bansal. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Tyra.
Hey Tyra, hey Kritika. Thanks for doing this.
Okay, so Samar, first question to you is that half of 2025 is already gone. What challenges sales teams have been witnessing till now, according to you?
So honestly, so most of I'll be more SaaS related, right? So there's a lot of different stuff going on in the world. So let's focus on SaaS. And wherever I speak with people, most of the people, the biggest challenge is the uncertainty in the world, right? It could be economic, it could be like geopolitical, etc. So because of that, what is happening is almost every leader is waiting and watching, right? Nobody wants to commit capital, nobody wants to focus on growth. And that's why if you see the budgets mostly are, most of the SaaS companies that I know of are actually losing customers to churn, and renewals are not happening, expansions are not happening, and people are just in that wait and watch mode. They're not deploying capital or deploying money for new initiatives. And that generally translates to less sales for SaaS people. So there's a lot of headwinds, basically, is what I'm seeing in my experience. At the
Right.
same time, there's a lot of stuff happening in AI space, which is uh, actually cutting a lot of jobs, cutting some costs. So it's not actually cutting that much cost as we would have hoped. But yeah, I mean that's another and as jobs are being lost, so another pressure on sales is that. So yeah, in tech, headwinds are pretty, I would say, pretty strong right now. But
Yeah,
what do you
like,
see, Kritika?
yeah.
I think I totally agree. And when you said uncertainty and I believe AI contributes a major portion of that uncertainty bit, right? Because the evolution is so rapid and the adoption itself is also so rapid. You're seeing so many changes happening all consecutively, which again is bringing
Hmm.
that downside somebody is referring to.
Yeah. So, like Samar said, economic uncertainty that I think is leading to longer sales cycles and the pressure on sales teams. So, how are you dealing with that at Outplay?
I think for any salesperson, no matter what the uncertainties are, being consistent and patient is very important. So, I would say that has been the biggest motivation so far. However, your statement being that is it impacting the sales processes or the way we are dealing with people? Definitely. The sales cycles are becoming longer only because right now everything is at ease or is at hand. If I want to research previously, I would have to invest a lot of time understanding, and most people don't generally have time. Now AI, because of AI, they are solving for that time difference, and immediately they have this prompt given that, okay, give me the best tools that are there for XYZ purpose. They have this complete research data. They can just go around in the market, ask for the quotes, sit with different salespeople, and get what they want directly, like within a day, while earlier it would take them at least a month just to evaluate platforms. So I would say that is why that has really impacted the way we are dealing with people now, that we have to be on our toes in terms of what's happening in the market, how we differentiate from our competitors, so that we also have answers on the go.
Right, right. Someone like Kritika said that AI adoption is also a big challenge, and most of the uncertainty she says is caused by AI. So,
Hmm.
like again, that question that everybody wants to use AI, but everybody does not know how to use it, and how do you balance personalization and automation? I think that is a balance that everybody is challenge that every sales rep is facing right now.
So see, I mean, honestly, there's no right answer, but I'll try to answer, like, say, what we are trying to do, right? Uh, so I think companies have to be experimental, right? You can't, you can no longer say that, okay, let's just wait it out. It might be a fad. It's clearly not a fad. The confusion at this point is not that, is AI going to be there or not in 6 months, like it was in case of crypto or other industry fads, right? But the confusion is, what is coming out today, maybe it will be obsolete in 2 months. It's a different kind of confusion. So what companies, in my opinion, need to do, and what we are doing is experiment fast, because you can't wait for this technology to mature, because it might be too late by then. You don't start moving your teams to adopt AI. You don't start pushing AI internally, right? When the technology matures, they might just be too far behind. So essentially, that's what we're seeing. And what the good part, I would say, that we have in our case going for us is that we have a lot of, new features being built very quickly. So what we do is we are, let's say, 80% consuming AIs, right? And building them as features in our products like Outplay. 20% we are like doing researchy and like, really building AI, I would say. You know, things like scraping, etc., where we are actually building stuff. But most of it is consuming APIs at the strategic points and delivering it in our product, right? But what we are seeing is that, these APIs are evolving so quickly, almost every month. We are trying new things constantly. At the same time, we don't feel that it's the right approach to ignore it till it matures, because then you won't know what the maturity point is, essentially, right? So I think that's what my take is. Just be experimental, right? Even if, like, don't expect AI to reduce 90% of workload, right? Just expect it to reduce 20-30%, or make your people uh, you know 20% more efficient. That is totally doable and is being done. It's just that when people have these expectations that AI will come in and just reduce, their CSM team will be replaced by AI completely, that doesn't happen. And, that will maybe never happen, right? Who knows? But the idea is you just have to be a little more realistic, but start adopting, because if you don't adopt, it might be too late, I think.
Yeah. On that note, Kritika, how are you convincing your teams to adopt AI and go with it and not just consider it as an enemy or not just resist it? What kinds of trainings or what kind of a daily practice you have that you are inculcating in your.
I think in a general sense, we are practicing A/B testing, right? We are using AI in conjunction to our normal efforts. So
Okay.
this means that we know, like, we are mitigating the risks. That's one piece. And second, we are using it in a phased approach. So this means that let's not just expect that, okay, day one, let the SDR sit where they're at and just let AI take the charge. No, let's make sure that we are releasing it to the SDR team, to the sales team in a phased manner so that they are also getting acquainted to the technology that's coming in, and then also fine tuning it how we like it. So that's exactly what we are doing at Outplay as well internally, is that all our processes right now are working with AI. So we are working together with AI in that sense.
And what are the areas where you've seen that AI is the most efficient?
I would say AI. So I'm not sure how familiar your idea with the intent based reach outs, right?
Right.
Earlier, the whole idea was sending customized reach outs or reading the profile, understanding the whole journey of the customer before reaching out to them. Right now, AI is solving that for us within under 30 seconds. So I would say that's one piece, identifying the ICP and then reaching out to them in a very tailored manner. That's where AI is killing it for us.
Right, right. So
And also,
basically,
just to add to that, like, you can get AI today to create content on the fly. Like, for example, if you want to create a deck for a particular customer, right? I mean, earlier the sales rep would say, do I want to create like a custom deck for a sales lead? Maybe not. But today you can do that. You can actually create like this whole flow, like, and actually, so there's this new tool that we are integrating with Outplay called Rivia, which actually does these product demos in less than 5 minutes. It's like an AI thing. You just go through the product, and the demo can be done in maximum 10 minutes. So demos can be done very quickly, right? Content. So basically, content that a salesperson needs and the targeting that a salesperson needs, I think, are massively easier today.
right,
Like,
right.
lookalike audiences are much easier. Yeah.
So the task basically salesperson used to resist earlier, they can now be done by AI and they can focus on more creative things.
That could be one
Exactly.
way of saying it. Yeah, yeah, that could be one way of saying it. But otherwise, also, uh, again, this is a skill that you cannot teach, right? So with AI, you know that the efficiency or the output is the best that you're getting. The skill that I'm talking about is profiling or identifying the ICP. This is something that you can't really teach, or you can't really put it in a document and send it away. So that's where AI, I think, is a better or an upgraded replacement.
Okay, so while AI is easing up some tasks, Summer, there's also this thing that buyers have become very smart now in 2025. Like buyers were always smart, buyer is always smart. But now they're doing a lot of research, and 70% of buyers, they are done with their research before even engaging with sales teams. So, how do you solve that point for sales reps?
So, I mean, see, buyers are smart is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because if you see today, what's happening is a lot of our customers at Outplay, at least, are actually moving from other platforms, right? And their biggest reason is not cost, not price, but essentially two things. One, that they are saying that we want speed, fast speed of development in the product. If we don't see that, we will move from the product. That's the first reason that we get when we talk to people. Okay, why did you decide to move to us? Maybe they moved to some others, but they're like actively looking out, right? And second is the support they're getting. So with I mean, with or without AI, what I would suggest is that you have to be much more much faster in delivering features to your customers, right? And I think AI is definitely accelerating that, because I can deliver things today code base wise much faster. And second, you can't expect people to wait for too long in customer success kind of or customer support, because AI has made it so easy. Like 90% of workload of a customer success rep is taken up by AI. So what that means is that you would have to deliver a much higher level of support. The expectations of people are much higher, and the idea is that you use AI to deliver that. That's what we're trying to do. So I would say these two things, if you figure out cadence, basically in product, new things have to come very quickly. And second is, how do we build out much better customer success team, and give people a much better expectation.
Right. Kritika, have you experienced any of these challenges, where your sales team or you personally have the buyers are not ready to engage, or they are having already a full loaded research in their mind?
Definitely, with information at hand and so frequently,
Yeah.
it is a challenge, no doubt. And I think the best way, again, you can use AI, right? Mold it in your favor in this case. That when you are also reaching out to them, since they are already aware about you, when you do the reach out, then you are also equally aware of them, their pain points. And in this, definitely AI can help.
Yeah. Are there any specific tools or any specific best practices that can help sales reps over here?
Um, in the sense doing the right profiling, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, again, coming back to our previous point that how we have intent based reach out, right? What exactly are we trying to solve for? We are trying to identify the pain point. We are like leveraging AI to identify the pain point, and then using the knowledge it has on our company, on what we do, it is making the reach out. So that's how you can solve for it in terms of, I would say, best practice is leverage AI to do very intent based, customized reach out. That's point one. And then second, in terms of tool, I think, again, don't want to sound preachy, but that's why people have moved from CRMs to sales engagement platforms, right? Just to bring in everything in one house, be it Outplay, be it anything else, but just to bring everything under one roof, and then make the reach outs very engaging and diversified. So I would say, yeah, that would be Outplay for me would be one of the tools that really does help in selling. And then finally, really listening to your customers. So whatever they are saying, whatever objections they are handling, just being a salesperson also keep a very active ear on that side, so that when you're dealing with customers next, you can actually go to them and tell them that, okay, this is how you can make things work. So I would say, yeah. That
Yeah.
is how
Yeah,
I'm
like
solving for
Kritika,
it.
you've chosen like one tool. Summer, I think a lot of sales reps online, they're complaining that there are a lot of sales tools in the market, but we don't know how to use them. We don't know how they can be integrated into our already workflows. So it is kind of creating a lot of confusion for the sales reps also. Like more the tools, more the confusion. So what is an
Yeah.
alternative to that?
So see, that is super true. Sadly, the answer is really just to be a little more experimental, right? And look at reviews more, etc. But what we are trying to do is to cut through the clutter. We are actually saying that okay, we'll review a lot of these tools for the teams and integrate them in Outplay properly. So sort of like curation, right? So that's what we are trying to do. So let's say people are saying. Um, Clay is getting very expensive, so we are looking at some alternatives. Of course, clay is the best also, so it's not that clay is just expensive, it's the best, but at the same time, people would want slightly cheaper alternatives also. So we are saying okay, we'll find those alternatives, we'll integrate them in Outplay. So I think, you know for people, experiment. I think there is no harm in that. The time you're saving in using AI, just put that in experimentation and learning. That's, I think, super important. As a company, what we are doing is we are just integrating and curating on our side, right? Giving a lot of tools to our sales team, whatever they like. We are trying to integrate it quickly in our product.
Right. And what about lead quality and prospecting challenges? Is it still a big challenge even in 2025? Poor lead quality and prospecting?
Definitely, I would say so. And with people, again, as you said, customers are also becoming very aware of things. So this way, even if I talk about my personal data, I'm very keen and interested to know where is it sitting. And if any salesperson calls me, I would want to know like how do they get my data. So of course, inaccuracies are there in terms of data, and which is why I'll just build on what Samar said. We're trying to find alternatives that work a little better than others, right? So the problem statement still remains the same, that data inaccuracies will be there till the end of time. But the only way we can solve for is continue to find better alternatives and make sure that we're integrating it within our customers' workflow so that everything becomes seamless. So the life becomes a little easier. That's it.
Yeah, even with AI, there are going to be a lot of inaccuracies, right?
For the time being, yes. Eventually, yes. The world wants to move to a stage where AI is taking charge and without inaccuracies. But for the time being, yes.
Right, right.
And
Okay.
it's also like another type of inaccuracy. Like it's not just necessarily that it's wrong message. It's also like some places where AI sounds too robotic, right? That's also an inaccuracy in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
think if you think of AI as an assistant, I think it's pretty useful. But if you like, for example, at this point, like image creation has been totally taken over by AI, right? So I think that's you there are a lot of things you can use, but you still have to be in the loop. Like you just can't expect AI to just do it for you totally, and then it's, I think, pretty useful.
Yeah, I'm going a bit off track, but what are you guys using AI for?
Um, yeah,
So
Samar, you go ahead.
me personally, honestly, I'm doing a lot of research. So I have this like I mean, I use Perplexity, ChatGPT, and even DeepSeek more. I want to see like what the China AI is seen is up to. But I think I just so for example, most of the content I used to do, let's say, images I need to create, or some small research I need to do for travel, or let's say I have to go to conferences, just I just keep asking ChatGPT and Perplexity what are the conferences I should visit and go to, etc. So a lot of research, I would say, has gone on to AI for me personally. And for sales, because I still, I mean, I'm still doing sales. No matter what I do, I have to be selling all the time. And in my case, it's more finding companies we can acquire, but that's also sale, right? Essentially, like I'm always trying to talk to CEOs, founders, understand their motivation, and see if it's a good fit or not. So that's like practically sale also. So most of my lead gen essentially finding companies that are a good fit for our ecosystem and can be acquired is essentially being done by AI. Right? I have like Geraldine, who's my assistant. She does a lot of stuff, but me and her combined, we use a lot of AI to actually scout and try and close deals.
Great, great.
So
Yeah. What about you, Kritika?
I think in my case, personally speaking, it's mostly research. Any quick question that I have on top of my head, I'd run to GPT these days and get the answers for. And then professionally speaking, part research is there, of course, competitor analysis and all of that. On top of that, getting the resources built, how I can position myself in a better way. GPT does a great job in helping me uh, put that in context, which means at the end of the day, helping me build content. So these, I would say, are the two areas, professionally speaking, I use AI in.
Great, great. Thank you guys for joining us today. And to end this conversation, any closing thoughts for the sales reps who are still struggling in the trenches, even in 2025, and want to make the rest of the 2025 a little better for themselves?
I guess keep hustling, guys. Don't think that. See, I mean, the world is like, if I look at it 2 years ago, sales was much easier, right? And the environment is not the best right now. There are a lot of headwinds as we started the discussion with,
Hmm.
but that also means that the best companies will actually become stronger, and the weaker companies will probably die. So this is the time when the differentiation happens. When everything is good, almost everybody's having a good time. But when things go tough, that's when the good companies get separated from great companies. So I think my suggestion is, this is the time to push hard. Right? This is that time in a marathon when everybody's like just chugging along. It's super boring, super tough, but that's when the real differentiators are created. So yeah.
Right, right. Any closing thoughts, Kritika, on how you are
I think
motivating sales teams?
I think on my side, I would always say this, at least for this year, 2025, is that don't shy away from AI. You want to be conservative about it, follow a very risk managed approach. You do you, but don't at least run away from it or shy away from it because it is coming for sure. I mean, it is already arrived, but it's coming in a big way. So just make it a friend than a foe.
Right, right. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
guys, for joining us today. And I think from this discussion, what we can say is that with time, we also need to change and we also need to adapt, because a winner can only be one who does adapt to the new things and new situations. So say hello to AI, don't shy away, embrace it, and go for it. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Tyra.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kritika.
guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sana. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.